Alright, what's going on, guys? Sacred Survival here. Welcome back to another Bleach Rebirth of Souls video. Boy, do I look stupid this week, because I almost guaranteed last week that the next release trailer was going to be of Barragan. But today we have Coyote Starrk, espada number 1, not espada number 2. So, yeah, not quite what I thought. But that doesn't rule out Barragan as a potential character before release. I did see someone post that, you know, Tier Harabel was character release 30. So, you know, 3-0, espada 3, and then Starrk is character reveal 31, so 1 in there, and then Barragan could be 32 because there's a 2 in there. The logic behind these is starting to be stretched quite a bit, but I don't think that they're going to skip over Barragan as a playable character. They've done, you know, characters like Shunsui that have like a game in their abilities. I think that they'll be able to do Resurreccion justice in the video game. I'm not sure how they would do it, and this skipping over Barragan kind of makes me think that they will forget about him, but I don't think that'll be the case. Why they decided to go out of order, I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, we have Coyote Starrk today, one of my favorite espadas. I know I'm in the habit of saying that almost every reveal trailer, but honestly, Starrk has one of the slickest, coolest designs out of any of the espada. His release form is amazing. I love that he uses guns, and this follows the trend of Shunsui fighting the gun users in Bleach. So I'm very excited to see what they do for him in this video game. A lot of ranged, I'm guessing, a lot of zoning, and that's about it. I don't know if he'll have any close range stuff, so maybe if you can close the gap on him, he won't be as good, but let's just jump in and find out. Of course, we're going to watch the reaction, or we're going to watch the trailer the first time without pausing, just to get a reaction, and then we're going to go back, pause, read all the abilities, and break it down for you guys, so that we can maybe understand what's going on with this character a little bit more. So let's just jump right into it. Of course, before we do though, if you guys like the video, feel free to drop a like, subscribe to the channel before the game comes out on the 21st. I'll be streaming and uploading a lot of this game. I stream over on Twitch. Link will be in the description for that. I also have a Discord if you guys want to join that, just to talk about Rebirth of Souls or Bleach in general. I'm always looking for more Bleach fans. I also play a bunch of Mortal Kombat if you're into that as well. Hopefully that'll be a good hub area for people to find matches, maybe once the game kind of fizzles out of its prime. So feel free to join the Discord. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for that as well. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. We have Coyote Starrk as the reveal trailer today. Espada number 1. I love gun users, so this should be good. I think he's going to be, I think I said last video, he's going to be in like my top 5 characters that I play. Oh yeah, all ranged. Oh my god, that range actually looks insane. Okay, that one had like 2 Ceros out of it. Ooh, and that's like a teleport Cero combo move.
Shall we get going?
Los Lobos. Oh, he actually gets the swords in Los Lobos. Okay. He only used those for like a... What the hell is that? Oh, he sent an exploding wolf at him. Okay, nice. Hell yeah. He's got the wolves. I mean, this is just straight from the source material. That transferred well into the game. Hell yeah. I will say I'm kind of surprised that he has the swords. He only really used the swords in Los Lobos for like 2 minutes at the very end of the fight. So it'll be interesting to have him be more of a melee character after his awakening. I can already see the difference. If you want to stay zoning, then you won't use the awakening. If you want to maybe challenge people that are rushing you down, you would go into awakening sooner, just so that you have more melee options available. But I'm sure he also has, you know, some melee or close range capabilities when he's not in his awakening. But already, yeah, that seems very on point for Starrk as a character. I really enjoyed that. Definitely a lot of spam, a lot of zoning. I could see him being very annoying to play against. So let's go back and break down, actually pause and see what his abilities do. Maybe it's not as spammy as I think it is, but it looked pretty ridiculous. It looked pretty crazy. Let's see. Known as the Primera Espada, he is proud of the tremendous firepower at his command while firing Cero in rapid succession. He can also divide himself into 2 separate beings. Of course, you know Lillinette. You know Lillinette. You can't run. I wonder why that one's gray. Signature move, Alma Karma. While holding down input, Starrk will accumulate his spiritual pressure, holding his gun at the ready. In normal state, Starrk expends his spiritual power when activating dash and quick attack, flash attack, and special flash attack. It is important to secure spiritual power regularly by activating this move. So this is kind of a charge. So he has to hold it down to charge it. Accumulate spiritual power. Is that different than his actual spiritual pressure gauge? In the normal state. So maybe we'll figure out it has different states later. Expend his spiritual power when activating dash and quick attack, flash attack, or special flash attack. So not normal quick attack. You have to dash with it. Flash attack or special flash attack. Okay. So he has some options that don't expend this, at least, but it seems like most will. So, and I wonder how this looks when you have 0 spiritual power. So you charge it up then, and then, yep, fires it. Cero Automatico. Starrk steps back in a flash and fires a Cero from his gun. The number of Cero and the damage will increase according to the amount of Starrk's spiritual power. Okay, so yeah, that's a special spiritual power gauge for Starrk specifically, I think, because they're using spiritual power now and not spiritual pressure. But maybe, because this is a spiritual pressure move. But I don't think so. So I think you charge that one, and then this will change the amount of Cero and the damage dealt, depending on how much of a charge he has of that. So yeah, there's... Oh, that was actually more than 2. Yeah, that's 2, and then there's 3 or 4 right there, actually. So that can be pretty powerful. Okay. All right, spiritual pressure move 2. The 2 of us make 1. Starrk's spiritual power will decrease little by little after activating. Until the spiritual power is decreased to 0, Starrk will not expend his spiritual power when activating dash and quick attack, flash attack, or special flash attack. So all of his... So it seems like no matter what, basically, if you have spiritual power, which is a move, which is a gauge that you charge with his 1 signature move, your dash and quick attack, your flash attack, and your special flash attack will fire a Cero. This move basically gets rid of the need for that gauge, but it will decrease little by little. So instead of each move taking its designated amount away from your spiritual power, this will just be a gradual decrease, but you have unlimited use while it's decreasing. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. It basically just gets rid of his limitations for a little bit. So you can just fire at will. Hell yeah.
Shall we get going?
A little bit more complex maybe than I thought he was going to be, which is good. I wanted him to not just be like he can fire it without having to think really at all. All right, his awakening. Starrk's performance is enhanced by releasing Los Lobos with Resurreccion. Unlike the normal state that fights mainly at long range, Starrk's fighting style changes into close range after awakening. Starrk will be able to activate power attack by using Blue Flame Wolf that will be stocked in exchange of his own konpaku. Oh. Activate power attack by using Blue Flame Wolf. So his konpaku stocks will change into Blue Flame Wolf stocks. And that's how he splits himself. And then you can use those as weapons. That's actually insanely unique. I need to see actual gameplay of this because whatever is shown in this trailer is not going to do this justice right here. Powerful attack using Blue Flame Wolf that will be stocked in exchange of his own konpaku. If I'm understanding that correctly, so once he goes into Awakening, his konpaku turns into Blue Flame Wolves, and then you can use those as weapons, and then you lose that stock of konpaku. So those have to be extremely powerful if you're trading your stocks, basically. Wow. And he becomes very close range. So I wonder how that changes his spiritual power gauge in Awakening. And like how that changes his spiritual pressure moves. If he doesn't have the Sarahs anymore, what becomes of his spiritual pressure moves? I mean, I imagine they turn into different forms of the blue flame wolves, but I'm not really sure. And of course, once we get the awakening, we get very little afterwards. So yeah, we can see one there, but that just seemed to be, so maybe that replaces his signature move, and he just doesn't, surely he has access to spiritual pressure moves still though. But there was no like glow as in the activation of a spiritual pressure move here. So I'm guessing that's a signature move. And then he can use his stocks as a resource. So I really wonder if this is going to be the first like 1-star character for ease of use. Because he seems like he could be very difficult to actually play very well. If you're having to charge your spiritual power to get a certain amount of effectiveness off of your ranged weapons, and maybe if you don't have any spiritual power, you just don't have access to those ranged Sarahs, which will basically nullify a lot of his kit. So you want to be able to keep the opponent away so that you can use that spiritual power charge, but then you also need to use your spiritual power guards in order to have range to keep them away. So it's a pretty hard balancing act there. And then not to mention when he goes into his awakening, he basically uses his own stocks into exploding wolves. So unique abilities to turn spiritual power and konpaku into offensive power. Wow. Okay. Wow. I mean, maybe the spiritual power is just talking about his spiritual pressure gauge, but it's weird that they're now talking about spiritual power and not spiritual pressure. I think they would have clarified that it was spiritual pressure gauge. It was the same thing. Them using a different phrase for it makes me think that it's a different sort of ability altogether, just to Stark. But he also didn't get a special condition about spiritual power. So maybe that move just charges his spiritual pressure gauge, because I think that does make more sense, actually. I think I've changed my mind. So this charges his spiritual pressure gauge. And then just his quick attacks, flash attacks, and everything like that use that spiritual pressure gauge. Yeah. So you're going to have to be using this a lot, because this will deplete your spiritual pressure gauge. And then also your spiritual pressure moves will deplete your spiritual pressure. So he's definitely resource heavy, but I could see him being a menace, being an absolute zoner menace. A good Stark will be absolutely terrifying. And I really like turning konpaku into offensive power. That's a very unique trait that fits Stark very well. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Are you going to main Stark? Like I said, he's going to be in my top 5 characters that I will play. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking Shunsui, Gin, Yoruichi, Green Zhao, and Stark. I think I might be forgetting one that I was very excited for, but those were just the ones that came to me in my head right now. Let me know who you will be playing, and who do you think is next? Do you think they actually skipped over Barragan, and he's not going to be in the base roster, or do you think that they just skipped over him for some reason, and he'll be coming next week? We only have like 4 more weeks until launch of this game, so really, we're getting down to the wire in terms of character reveals. So I'm excited to see what's next. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow my Twitch channel as well. Join the Discord. All the links will be in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye.